Hello dear student, I am chemistry diploma teacher Professor Sachin Mohan Gage from Sanjeevani KBP Polytechnic Kopargaon. Welcome all of you in Sanjeevani Lecture Management System. In the last class, we completed the topic lime. Today, we are going to learn the last content of unit number 4, that is refractory material. So first of all, we are going to start with the refractory material. Refractory material is any material which can withstand high temperature without softening or suffering a deformation in a shape. So refractory material is the material which can withstand to a very high temperature, and when such a material withstand to a very high temperature, there should be a no change in the shape of material called as a deformation. So without softening or suffering a deformation in a shape, the material which which can be withstand a very high temperature is called as the refractory material. So the main objective of refractory material, as we know that we studied that blast furnace, reverberatory furnace. Blast furnace, the furnace in which the ore is heated to a very high temperature, and the same case is applicable for the reverberatory furnace in which the ore is heated to a very high temperature. And we learn that the blast furnace or the reverberatory furnace, they are lined inside with the lime or the fire bricks. So fire bricks is nothing but the refractory material. The material, they can be withstand to a very high temperatures. The main objective of using refractory material is to confine heat, means to resist the loss of heat. As we know that the heat is lost in the form of radiation, convection, etc. Therefore, it is our prime duty to avoid the loss of heat, and for that we can use the refractory materials. Second objective, to resist abrasive and corrosion actions of molten metal, slag, and gases at high temperatures without undergoing the softening or the distortion in a shape. So we know that in the blast furnace there will be a chemical changes, chemical reactions take place when ore is subjected for metallurgical process, and during that process we will get the molten metal, slags, and different gases. For example, SO2, carbon dioxides, they are continuously evolved during the chemical reactions at high temperatures. So such a such a product has abrasive and the corrosive or corrosion reactions on the materials. So to avoid the such type of the reactions, we should use the refractory materials. What are the uses? कंस्ट्रक्शंस ऑफ द लाइनिंग ऑफ द फर्नेस, जो भी हम फर्नेस का इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो उसको हम अंदर से उसका जो लाइनिंग है उसको हम क्या करते हैं, रिफ्रैक्टिव मटेरियल से ढक देते हैं या फिर बनाते हैं. टैंक्स, कन्वर्टर, किल्न्स, क्रूसिबल्स एंड द ladles etc. in which refractive materials are used. Second one, manufacture of metals, ferrous or non-ferrous, cement, glass, ceramic, paper, steel. For that we can use the refractory materials. Now moving on to the next one. What are the characteristics of your refractory material? So which refractory material is said to be a good refractory materials? First of all, the first property is be infusible at the temperature to which it is liable to be exposed. Means when we use the refractory material at higher temperature, it should not be a fused one, it should not be melted. Means they should be withstand to a very high temperature, whatever the temperature is given or exposed by that refractory materials. Second one, chemically inerts towards corrosive actions of gases. As we know that we use the refractory materials in blast furnace, reverberatory furnace, kiln. So in that furnace a lot of gases are released or evolved during the process. Formation of liquids, metals, slags are formed, and such a type of the product which is obtained in a furnace should not react with, should not, that means refractory material comes in contact with such type of the products, and it should not going to affect on the refractory materials, so it resists all the chemical actions. That is the second one. It resists the abrasive action of flue gases and flames, no doubt. Be able to withstand the overlying load of structure at the operating temperature. So it also carry the loads along with the temperature. It should not be a crack, उनको क्रैक भी नहीं जाना चाहिए. शुड नॉट लॉस इन साइज, उसका जो साइज है वो वैसा ही मेंटेन होना चाहिए. साइज बढ़ना नहीं चाहिए या फिर कम नहीं होना चाहिए, उसको क्रैक भी नहीं जाना चाहिए. लास्ट वन, एक्सपांड द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, एक्सपांड एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट यूनिफॉर्मली. अगर उसका एक्सपांशन होता है तो कॉन्ट्रैक्शन भी होना चाहिए, यूनिफॉर्मिटी होना चाहिए विथ टेम्परेचर राइज एंड 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 फॉल रिस्पेक्टिवली. यानी कि अगर टेम्परेचर बढ़ता है तो एक्सपांशन एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्शन यूनिफॉर्मली होना चाहिए, फिर अगर टेम्परेचर नीचे गिरता है तो उस टाइम भी जो भी कॉन्ट्रैक्शन एंड द एक्सपांशन ऑफ मटेरियल वो यूनिफॉर्मली मेंटेन होना चाहिए. अगर ऐसी प्रॉपर्टी कोई मटेरियल पोजेस करता है, उसके अंदर है, तो उसको हम बोलेंगे गुड रिफ्रैक्टरी मटेरियल्स. सो रिफ्रैक्टरी मटेरियल का काम है टू अवॉइड द heat loss. Now we are going to see the classification of refractory materials. Refractory materials are classified into the three class: acid, refractoriness, refractories, basic refractories, and neutral refractories. So acidic refractories, so which refractories are said to be acidic refractories? The important members of this group is alumina. alumina का मतलब होता है Al2O3, ये मटेरियल उसमें होना चाहिए. Then second one, silica, that is your silica gel. Fire clay refractories, they are included in a acid refractories. Second one, basic refractory, these are the refractories which consist of a group like your lime, that is your calcium oxide and magnesium oxide. If any furnace is lined inside with CaO or MgO, then that refractory material is called as the basic refractory materials. And if it is lined inside with the alumina or silica, then it is a acid refractory materials. Neutral refractory material, in the sense neutral refractories made from weakly acidic oblique basic material. It is a combination of weakly acidic and the basic material. It means it is not acidic as well as the basic. For example, who chromates FeO-CrO2, zirconia ZrO2, these are the important members of this group. Some other important members of these groups are graphite, chromite, zirconia and carborundum. SiC refractories, they all are included in neutral refractories. Now we are going to see some of the important properties of refractories. The first important property is a refractoriness. Second one, strength or refractoriness under load. Third one, dimensional stability. Fourth one, chemical inertness. Fifth one, thermal expansion. Sixth one, thermal conductivity. Seventh one, porosity. Eighth one, thermal spalling. Ninth one, resistance to abrasion or corrosion. 10. Electrical conductivity. 11. Heat capacity. 12. Texture. And the last one is the permeability. These are the important properties or the characteristics of refractory materials. We will see one by one. The first one, most important, that is your refractoriness. So refractoriness in the sense ability of that refractory materials to withstand with the heat without any change, without appreciable deformations or softening under a particular surface condition. That ability is called the refractoriness. मान लो कि आपका रिफ्रैक्टरी मटेरियल है, उसको हमने एक्सपोज किया जाके जहाँ पे हीट बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो वहाँ पे वो उस हीट को वो उसके अंदर उस हीट को सहने की क्षमता होनी चाहिए. जब भी हीट बढ़ेगी, ज़्यादा होगी, तब उसमें कोई भी चेंज नहीं आना चाहिए. डिफॉर्मेशन का मतलब होता है कि मान लो कि ये आपका कॉइन है, और अगर इसके ऊपर से अगर मान लो कि रेलवे गुजर गई, तो उसमें क्या होता है, उसके शेप साइज में बदलाव आता है. यानी कि हम उसको बोलते हैं कि डिफॉर्मेशन हो गया, या फिर सॉफ्ट होने वाला है, सॉफ्ट हो गया. तो ऐसा चेंजेस सर्विस कंडीशन में नहीं आना चाहिए. उस एबिलिटी को हम बोलते हैं रिफ्रैक्टरीनेस. ठीक है, आगे जाएंगे. हियर जो इम्पोर्टेंट प्रॉपर्टी है वही हम स्टडी. केमिकल इनर्टनेस. अ रिफ्रैक्टरी शुड बी सिलेक्टेड दैट इज केमिकली इनर्ट इन यूज and does not form fusible product with slag, fuel, ashes, furnace gas, etc. Usually, the environment in most furnaces are either acidic or basic. So, chemically inert, inertness का मतलब होता है अगर मान लो कि ब्लास्ट फर्नेस में स्मेल्टिंग प्रोसेस चल रहा है, और स्मेल्टिंग प्रोसेस में ब्लास्ट फर्नेस के मान लो कि आपका ब्लास्ट फर्नेस है, ठीक है, ये आपका हर्थ है. तो यहाँ पे मान लो कि मोल्टन मेटल है, स्लैग भी है नीचे, और गैसियस भी है. ठीक है, तो इन गैसियस का, इन प्रोडक्ट का कोई भी असर आपके रिफ्रैक्टरी मटेरियल के ऊपर नहीं होना चाहिए. आपका रिफ्रैक्टरी मटेरियल इनके साथ रिएक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. इट शुड बी इनर्ट लाइक योर नोबल गैस एलिमेंट. सो जनरली जो भी हम फर्नेस में इस्तेमाल करते हैं वो एसिडिक होता है या फिर बेसिक होता है. और एसिडिक एनवायरनमेंट और बेसिक एनवायरनमेंट आपके करोसिव एनवायरनमेंट होते हैं, एग्रेसिव एनवायरनमेंट होते हैं. तो इसके साथ अगर आपका रिफ्रैक्टरी मटेरियल रिएक्ट नहीं करता तो उसको हम बोलेंगे केमिकली इनर्ट. सो इट शुड नॉट केमिकली रिएक्ट विद एसिडिक एनवायरनमेंट, बेसिक एनवायरनमेंट और अदर न्यूट्रल एनवायरनमेंट. उसको हम बोलते हैं केमिकल इनर्टनेस. ठीक है, आगे जाएंगे. थर्मल एक्सपांशन. एक्सपांशन, एक्सपांड होना. सॉलिड मटेरियल ऑन हीटिंग एक्सपांड्स एंड ऑन कूलिंग इट विल गेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. आप कोई भी सॉलिड मटेरियल का एग्जांपल ले लो, जब भी हम उसको हीट करते हैं तो उसका एक्सपांशन होता है, और जब भी वो ठंडा होता है धीरे धीरे से तो उसका क्या होता है, कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होता है. सो इन द डिज़ाइनिंग ऑफ द प्रैक्टिकल फर्नेस, जब भी हम कोई भी फर्नेस डिज़ाइन करते हैं तब भी ये जो बात है एक्सपांशन एंड द कॉन्ट्रैक्शन, ये हमको ध्यान में रखना पड़ता है. रिफ्रैक्टरी मटेरियल शुड हैव लिस्ट पॉसिबल थर्मल एक्सपांशन एज द एक्सपांशन अफेक्ट ऑल डायमेंशन. तो उससे क्या होगा कि ठीक है, मान लो कि सॉलिड मटेरियल एक्सपांड होता है और व्हेन दे आर अलाउड टू कूल इट विल गेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट स्लोली. बट हमारा रिफ्रैक्टरी मटेरियल ऐसा होना चाहिए कि उसमें एक्सपांशन ना हो. अगर हो तो कम से कम एक्सपांशन हो, क्योंकि एक्सपांशन अगर होता है तो सब पैरामीटर, सब डायमेंशन बदल जाते हैं. कि जैसे कि मान लो कि आपका लेंथ बदल गया, आपका पूरा एरिया बदल गया, आपका पूरा वॉल्यूम बदल गया, यानी कि आपके बॉडी का. तो थर्मल एक्सपांशन आपका कम ही होना चाहिए. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट है थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी. थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी इन इंडस्ट्रियल ऑपरेशन, रिफ्रैक्टरी मटेरियल ऑफ both high thermal conductivity and low thermal conductivity are required डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द टाइप ऑफ द फर्नेस। तो फर्नेस में हमें दोनों टाइप के रिफ्रैक्टरी मटेरियल का इस्तेमाल हम कर सकते हैं डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द फर्नेस, जिसका थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी ज़्यादा हो या फिर थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी कम हो। In most cases, the furnace is lined with refractory of low heat conductivities so as to reduce the heat losses to, to the outside by radiation. Otherwise, maintenance of high temperature inside furnace will be difficult. So mostly what happen, we use the furnace where the material should have the low thermal conductivity, as we know that if the material having a very high thermal conductivity, that heat will be lost by the radiation and we are going to lose our heat. And sometime what happen, we can use the refractory material with less thermal conductivity. Sometime high thermal conductivity, it totally depending upon the type of the furnace used. So otherwise what happen, maintaining of the high temperature inside the furnace will be difficult. If too much heat is lost outside the furnace in the atmosphere, it is very difficult to maintain the high temperature inside. So that's why mostly the furnace which is used for the smelting process use the refractory material whose thermal conductivity is very low, so we are going to avoid the maximum heat loss. Next one, thermal conductivity. I think we studied thermal conductivity. A good heat conductivity, a good heat conductivity of the refractory material is desirable for effective heat transmission in furnace construction. The densest, most dense, and the least porous brick have the highest thermal conductivity owing to the absence of air voids. Okay, it's okay. We are not going to discuss too much in a details thermal conductivity. Then porosity is very important. All refractories contain pores, either due to manufacturing method or deliberately made by incorporating sawdust or cork during manufactures. So porosity in the sense ratio of its pores volume to the bulk volume. So here in this way we can calculate the pores. It is not important for us. Porosity is an important property of refractory material, refractory bricks, because it affects many other characteristics. For example, chemical stability, strength, abrasion resistance, and thermal conductivity. So in a porous refractory, molten charge, slag, gas, etc. are likely to enter more easily to a greater depth and may react and reduce the life of the refractory materials. So porosity is very important property. Porosity decreases strength, resistance to the abrasion, resistance to corrosion or penetration by slag or gases. Porosity increases resistance to thermal spalling, thermal shock resistance. The densest and the least porous brick have the highest thermal conductivity owing to the absence of air voids. In porous brick, the entrapped air in the pores act as a non-heat conducting material. A good refractory in general should have low porosity. That one is very important. Low porosity. That one is very important. So good refractory material are those material which should have the low porosity. Then thermal spalling, breaking, cracking, peeling off or fracturing of refractory bricks or blocks, commonly called as the material, under high temperature. So good refractory must show a good resistance to thermal spalling. Thermal spalling Spalling is caused by rapid change in temperature. Sometimes temperature is increased too much and suddenly fallen down, so there will be a huge difference in temperature, which cause uneven expansion or and contraction within the mass of refractory, and thereby leading to a development of internal stress and the strains. Spalling may also be due to slack penetration into the refractory materials and thereby causing variation in the coefficient of expansion. So spalling can be decreased by using high porosity, low coefficient of expansion and good thermal conductivity refractory bricks, avoiding sudden temperature changes, etc. So thermal spalling in the sense breaking, cracking or peeling off or fracturing of refractory material under the high temperature. So it should have the low thermal spalling. Material should have the low thermal spalling. Resistance to abrasion. No doubt a good refractory material must show a good resistance to abrasion or erosion. Then electrical conductivity. Good refractory must show a low electrical conductivity. Except graphite, all other refractories are poor conductor of electricity. Okay, so basically by default the refractory material has a low electrical conductivity, but the refractory material like your graphite have the higher electrical conductivity. So refractory material should have the low electrical conductivity. Heat capacity. Okay, there is a no need to describe the heat capacity. So these are the properties of your refractory materials. So with this we completed our first chapter, that is unit number 4, metal alloys, cement, lime and refractory material. So today this one is sufficient. We will meet in the next lecture with a new unit. Till then, goodbye.